This is Breitbart News Daily.
Morning. This is Breitbart News Daily, Sirius XM 125, the Patriot Channel. Number 866-95-PATRIOT, 866-957-2874. This is Wednesday, 27th of September, the year of our Lord 2017. This is Executive Chairman of Breitbart News, Stephen K. Bannon. Your co-host this morning, our host, Raheem Kassam, from London, England, to run the show this week as Alice works the homepage. Big night last night, Raheem.
What was it? I missed that. What happened? We've been talking about it all this morning. We had so many great callers as well. Not only are they celebrating this, Steve, they are celebrating what happened before. What happened before Judge Roy Moore took victory in Tennessee.
Oh, my Lord.
Is big amongst this audience right now.
Want to hear from everybody from Alabama, from Tennessee, and also throughout the country. This is your victory, folks. This is, once again, the second biggest victory since, or the first biggest victory since November of last year, which is your victory, too. But I got to tell you, outgunned, no cash, all organization. It was basically grassroots muscle versus corporate cash. And we saw it won, and it was a blowout. It was a blowout from the very beginning, Raheem. I think we were up one time about 14 or 15 points, and then eventually won by 10. So
an extraordinary result and a really early result. I mean, what did Deuce Strange take yesterday? 4 counties, just 4 counties.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, absolutely. And I think Judge Moore overperformed everywhere. But just I tell you what, this is. And we had some, for all you folks, there's some extraordinary events. Raheem was down here Saturday night for the Bluegrass.
That was great. The Chestang, the 15th annual Chestang Bluegrass Festival.
And then, and by the way, you're so great. It's CNN with all they get the sour looks. It's CNN. CNN is leading with this story. As you know, they go from Judge Moore's biggest supporter to Judge Moore's biggest enemy as of last night, right?
Right.
There's the race. December 12th will be the runoff between the Democrat and Judge Moore. Doug Jones, former federal prosecutor, and Judge Moore on December 12th. So it's
yeah, we're gonna allow 1 day of celebration, and then we're getting back to work, right? Not for us, by the way, but for the audience, they get to celebrate today.
Yeah, no, they got to celebrate today. No way, they got to work today.
They got to work today.
In fact, we're on the road today. We're
on the road. Yeah,
we're going to be talking not just Judge Moore's campaign later this morning, also going to go out and look for some other candidates run throughout the country.
There you go. Right, guys, 866-957-2874, 866-95-PATRIOT is the number here. Let's start on line 6. Vinny is in New York. Vinny, good morning.
Good morning, Raheem. Good morning, Steve. It's a pleasure to talk to you. I never talked to you before. I'm a huge admirer of yours.
Hey, brother, thanks for calling.
Go right ahead.
All right. This loss last night was a tremendous loss last night from Mitch McConnell, and a huge victory for us. For the simple fact, he spent $30 million on smear campaigns to our measly $2 million and got trounced, destroyed. This was a huge punch in the gut to McConnell and the establishment. And what does he do for an encore? Like, what is he supposed to do? Spend more money? Is he going to give a kidney to somebody or mow people's lawns or cook them dinners? What is he going to do to try to top this? He must be so sick to his stomach, and I couldn't be happier at this point.
Vinny, if you were one of these Senate Leadership Fund donors, would you now be thinking twice about cutting Mitch McConnell a check?
I would just cut him off. Never mind cut him a check. I wouldn't forget about it. I would have nothing to do with him. He loses all credibility after this. $30 million down the Pishkadu like that to get trounced? Are you kidding me? He's lost all credibility. It was a huge win for us, like I said, and just a punch in the stomach to them, and it's great. And I congratulate you guys. It was a tremendous movement. I think you're doing a wonderful job, Stephen, and just please keep it up and keep it going, and we got you back.
Thanks, Vinny. That's all we need. Thank you very much, brother. Fantastic call. By the way, they're all coached up already. They know exactly how the how much money was raised and how we had no money at all.
We've been here for an hour, Steve. You know, come on. What do you?
Good job.
What do you think we're doing here?
That first hour, that 6 to 7 hour, really works.
Oh man, the callers have been amazing. This is the thing about this 30 million and versus the zero amount of money, and it's incredible because Roy Moore's victory speech last night, the media in there couldn't believe it. He's talking about God, Steve.
Yeah.
He's on a political stage. He's talking about God.
Yeah. He went Old Testament on us.
Yeah, and what popped into my mind yesterday was the old quote. I'm going to butcher it here, but some men trust in chariots and horses, right? This is what these guys did. This is what is that Psalm?
By the way, it was the 30 million. Here's the thing: they didn't come down here, Raheem, to have a debate among people. They didn't come down here to talk about the great issues of our day. They came down here on the politics of personal destruction to destroy Judge Roy Moore and his family. So it was just so extraordinary. It was great to meet the family last night, too, so it was fantastic.
Cindy is in Florida on line 3. Cindy, good morning.
Well, hello. I haven't talked to Stephen K. Bannon in a long time.
How you doing, Sydney?
Tea Party. I'm good. I'm from the Tea Party in Martin County.
Sure. Never forget you.
I just want to tell you, I just got a new golden retriever. His name is Andrew Jackson Bannon.
Whoa, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, you can see him on my Facebook page. Anyway, make a long story short, we used to vet these candidates, Steve, and I think I told you that the only one that would never come in was Marco Rubio, and we would get out we'd look at who their donors were. We did the Phyllis Schlafly method, if you remember her touting the fact that we should investigate and vet the candidates and so forth and so on. And which we did. And Connie Mack came in. They all came in. We sat. We had a list of questions. We investigated the bills that they may have sponsored, where their donors were from, and that whole thing. This is something I think we need to do around the country because we have a situation here, I believe, in our county, in our district here, that we have a candidate that won. And there are some people that are very disappointed in him. And there may be, we may have to primary him out. And so I think that this has to be done. And I think the people on the ground, especially at least my group, I'll be having a new meeting on October 9th, and we will be running a list of candidates that we believe we should support. And I quit the Republican Party after having a huge Lincoln Day dinner, which I had Jenny Beth Martin, and I had Roger Stone, and I had Billy and Karen Vaughn, and basically it was all the grassroots people, and we raised $32,000 for the Republican Party.
Wow.
But I quit. And I will tell you that one of the chairmen called me yesterday, and she says, "You can't quit. Why are you quitting?" And I said, "Because you lie." And but what are you going to do? You're going to vote for the Democrat? I said, "That doesn't work anymore." I said,
yeah, good. I love that.
So there we are.
Just tell the audience.
We're here.
Cindy, just tell the audience, because there's a lot of people out there who I know want to do the things that you guys have been doing down there in Tea Party rallies and organizing and things like that, and they don't know how to get into it. Just tell people a little bit about that, because I get so many calls, so many messages, so many tweets. Raheem, how do we do it? Go ahead, Cindy. You're in a better position than me.
Well, first of all, I look and see if there is a Tea Party around. I'd look and see what they were doing. And then if they want to contact me, they can. I'll even give my phone number over the air if that's okay with you.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, we'll have the producer pick up and figure out.
But you know how to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
Anyway, make a long story short. No, they should. We have a list of questions that we run from school board all the way up to of course, the Senate race, and we brought everybody in 2 election cycles. But here's what happens. Then they started, and Stephen, you were right about this, or maybe it was you, Raheem. They tell us what they want us to hear.
Yes.
This is what they did with the Tea Party. They lied.
Yes.
So what you have to do is you really have to dig. You have to go to Open Secrets and try to find where the money's coming from. Ask them if they have been in office before. What have they done? Who their associates are? Who are their staffers? We got into that, Stephen, with Marco Rubio.
Yep.
Who are his staffers?
Yeah.
This is all something. I'm free. Anybody can contact me.
Hey, Cindy, here's what I'll do. No, hang on, Cindy, hang on. Can you hang on a second? And our producer, can we pick up on Cindy, make sure we get the location of her Facebook page and all that, because I want to see Andrew Jackson Bannon, the new Golden Lab. We'll put the Golden Retriever. We'll put that up on Breitbart. But by the way, the gauntlet that Sydney just talked about is what you're going to have to do, is that pick and shovel work. Thank you, Sydney. Let's grab her Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll get all that. Thank you, Cindy in Florida, for that great call. 866-957-2874 is the number, 866-95-PATRIOT. But, Steve, I would be remiss for my duty to this audience if I didn't actually ask you a couple of questions about the last couple of days.
I don't give interviews,
night.
You know this.
That's
right?
okay.
This is just a repartee. This is not an interview. This is a repartee, right?
There's a door over there.
Oh, man. Whoa, they take control here. You created a monster.
Look, what was all I want to know is what was going through your mind last night when you're sitting down there, you're waiting for the results to come in, you're looking at the board's changing constantly, but it really starts with Roy Moore up, 17%, and you start from that kind of lead, and you're not gonna, you know at that point where this whole thing's going. You knew when Bob Corker said he was running where this whole thing was going. What is going through your mind at that point? Are you already moving on to the next race?
No, it's just, by the way, it's what I told. It's about, as I was telling you guys yesterday in doing this radio show. When I stepped in on President Trump's campaign, I had a very clear idea. We had 88 days to go. I think we were down 16 points. He was like 70 on the generic ballot. You got to be at 90. They didn't have much cash. But I had a very clear idea. I told him 100% chance, a probability we win, and that came off of this radio show. It came off the comment section of Breitbart. I had a very good feel for where people in the country were, simply for the fact that I had just been listening to people off this show. The same thing with Judge Roy Moore. I don't think we ever doubted about Judge Roy Moore, no matter how much cash was put into him. And I thought in Tennessee, we thought we had a terrific solution. There'll be announcements on that in the next week. And in Mississippi, and there'll be some in Mississippi, and in Arizona, in Nevada. We're going to have a solution in Missouri. We're going to have a solution up in Montana, I think in North Dakota, in Indiana. But we've got a pretty good idea about how this rolls out. And by the way, we're not going to have victories everywhere, but you can see the trend of this, right? This is a populist, nationalist, conservative revolt, and it's a revolt against the elites in this country. It's a revolt against the globalists among those elites, and it's a revolt against the progressive agenda that is trying to be jammed down the throat of the American people.
Axios is reporting McConnell meltdown. Okay, so number one, his candidate got crushed by 10 points in Alabama. Number two, more incumbents, including Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi, are likely to face primaries, making it vastly more expensive to preserve the majority. Number three, Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee, chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Mr. Arundel, yesterday announced his retirement. Number four, healthcare died again yesterday, this time without a vote. Number five, McConnell is cross ways with the president of his own party, who was fed up with what he considers the Senate leader's archaic style. Number six, a poll back home in Kentucky last month gave McConnell an 18% favorability rating. Yesterday was a pretty bad day for Mitch McConnell. Bad day. And I tell you what, let's talk about the healthcare thing. There was, I know from, we did work with Lindsey Graham starting in May on this bill. And the reason I liked this bill, and it's not perfect, right? We're not in the world of perfect, but it was about federalism. When Lindsey Graham and Rick Santorum came to me at the White House in May, when it looks like we're going to do other options, the reason I thought this was an interesting option, this really was about federalism. And it turns out at the end of the day, this was the most viable alternative they could get up there. They couldn't get it voted on. And by the way, we're going to have some news on what really happened behind that, probably tomorrow or the next day on the show. And it's very interesting what happened. And you're going to see the ultimate reason this was not brought up is something that happened a couple of years ago that Breitbart News is was in the middle of. But you guys will find that very interesting. The last thing was Mitch McConnell didn't support this bill. When Lindsey Graham and Rick Santorum and guys like Mark Meadows are going around trying to corral these the governors, because it was all predicated upon Republican governors. Mitch McConnell and others were working at cross purposes to that. So what we had yesterday was another epic fail. But maybe there's some hope, early next year to get this healthcare bill back up, and another disastrous run by the majority leader. Coming back to you guys on the phone lines now, but first, the tweets. Tim Connor says, "Love your new acronym for rhinos. I told them I want to." You like
runs?
Republicans under nominal terms.
That's good. I like that. That's creative, Raheem. I didn't expect that out of the London office.
Well, there you go. Sometimes when I haven't had any sleep, I start getting visions. So that's what's going on here. And another Tim on Twitter says, "Awesome job. Hey Steve, look at this. At Raheem Kassam deserves a long holiday." Wow.
I like that. I like that.
Wow, thank you. All right, Francis is on line 1. Francis, good morning.
Hey, Raheem. Hey, Stephen K. How are you?
Hey, ma'am. Doing great.
Go right ahead.
Good. Thanks for taking my call. Great win last night. But the
Thank you,
reason
ma'am.
I was calling is I wanted to, mention the whole NFL thing. And I think it's great that people aren't going to go to the games or they're not buying the jerseys and things like that. But I wanted to mention just the other side of that, which is patriotism and what exactly are we doing as adults, whether it's your audience here or anybody else. I mean, we're the ones that are supposed to be teaching our kids patriotism.
Right.
And I know in my own neighborhood, we've got maybe 40 homes, and there's 3 of us who have the flag out. So one, maybe some people can't, hang their flag because of the HOA. So there you go. Go fight your HOA and change that, and then put your flag up and get your kids involved. It might not even be your kids. It might be your grandkids or your niece or your nephew, but get them involved. And then the other thing is May 31st and November 11th. Memorial Day and Veterans Day. I always take my kid to an event, even if we're on vacation. We've gone to Memorial Day events in Arizona. We've gone to Memorial Day events in Missouri.
Francis, you're saying what's really going on here. The reason we're seeing all of this right now is because there's just been this gaping hole when it comes to the teaching of patriotism. Why nation is important.
Yes.
Why community is important.
Exactly. I go to these events, and it's mostly older people. It's people who have served.
Yep.
And, every once in a while you do see other families with young kids, but I usually think
but hang on a second. You made a great point. I want to make sure you continue on with it. You said both 31st of May, the Memorial Day, right? And you said November 11th. What is November 11th, and why do you also teach your kids November 11th?
Well, it's Veterans Day, so when I take my kid, it's Memorial Day is Remembrance, and for Veterans Day, it's thanking them for what they have done. So when my kid, even when he was small, we would go to the Lowe's or the Home Depot, we'd pick up a whole bunch of flags, and then that day we would go over there and I would have him put all the flags in the ground, around. And yes, those places do have activities on those days, but again, it's small crowd is coming out. And I think what we need to do is everybody on this call needs to on this audience needs to say, what can I do? What can I do to teach my kid or my grandkid? And that's what's going to make the difference, because we're not doing what we're supposed to do.
Let me before we let you go, fantastic call. And let me tell you something. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, those kids will remember that. If you want to know the way that you raise kids and they remember this, I'm telling you, I remember doing this and those types of things and going to a bunch of battlefields, etc. That my daughter ended up at West Point, but one of the things that she remembers as her fond memories as a little kid is going to do things on Memorial Day and doing things on Veterans Day. So thank you very much. Fantastic call. Really appreciate it. By the way, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month.
Yeah, Remembrance Day.
Remembrance Day, and I got to tell you, Veterans Day is for veterans. Memorial Day is for those who have fallen in defense of our country. Right. But one of the most powerful things is to be what's called Armistice Day, or Remembrance Day in England. Tell us about that briefly. That is a very powerful day. The entire nation, you know what's amazing? At least it seems to me as an outsider, I was always impressed how almost the patriotism, which the English don't run around with patriotism on their sleeves, but on that day, very, very, very solemn.
It's also one of the only days in the United Kingdom where you'll see a mass outpouring of emotion.
Yes.
The Brits don't tend to really get emotional.
Yes.
But Armistice Day, as you say, the 11th of November is incredibly important for us. It's so important, and the amount of money raised for the Royal British Legion from poppies, the sale of poppies for the lapels as well, is extraordinary, which goes to serving.
Why poppies? Why these beautiful poppies? Why does everybody wear one?
Because these are the flowers that grew over the tops of the battlefields, the Flanders fields.
Yes.
This marks for us, those, not just those that died, but those that are currently serving as well, and their families. Quite frankly, a lot of the money that the Help for Heroes and the Royal British Legion raises around Armistice Day goes to helping the families, goes to maintaining the graves as well of fallen British soldiers. those who died in battle. It's just an incredibly emotional day. You gather around the cenotaph, the political leaders, the top people in the United Kingdom. They gather around the cenotaph, which is the big war memorial on Whitehall, right outside.
So
the House
powerful,
of Commons.
such a powerful monument,
and it's such a powerful visual as well. Everyone's dressed head to toe in black. You have the 2-minute silence. You have the bells of Big Ben chiming us back in from that, and everyone stops. It can be the middle of a work day in an office building. Everyone stops. You just do. That's what you do. 866-957-2874, ladies and gentlemen. 866-95-PATRIOT. Quick break now. When we come back, more Stephen K. Bannon, more Dr. Sebastian Gore, who will be joining us, and more. If you care, me. We'll be right back after this break.
From the Global News Network of Breitbart.com, this is Breitbart News Daily.
Welcome. You're listening to Breitbart News Daily, Sirius XM 125, the Patriot Channel. Our number is 866-95-PATRIOT, 866-957-2874. It is the 27th of September, year of our Lord 2017. We are live from Montgomery, Alabama, where the headquarters for Judge Roy Moore's campaign is, where last night we celebrated a massive, epic win, all from the grassroots nation. You out there, folks, across the country helped Judge Moore to win, and particularly the people in Alabama. The hard-working grassroots with absolutely no money turned out a massive vote and blew out of the water Luther Strange, the Senate Leadership Fund, Mitch McConnell, all the corporate donors, the corporatists, the fat cats in Washington, D.C., and just an epic win for the little guy. It was fantastic to be there with Judge Moore last night on his victory celebration, where he quoted at length from the. He's an Old Testament guy. I could tell that. He's like Phil Robertson. They're Old Testament Christians. He's an Old Testament guy, and all of a sudden, here we go. CNN started already, with the takedown. Here they're going to go nonstop. We have a big election here on the 12th of December.
But this is perfect.
And we're going to need everybody throughout the country. We're nationalizing this race down here, so we're going to need everybody in the country down here to help folks in Alabama to win.
I think this is absolutely perfect. This is what CNN's going to do, and what MSNBC are going to do over the next couple of months is draw a real hard division between God-fearing people in this country and those who aren't. And they're gonna keep airing these clips of Roy Moore speaking in churches and all this kind of stuff, saying, "Look at this crazy guy. Look at the crazy things he's saying." I'm not going to give away too much. I actually think it plays.
But here's we said this last night. As soon as he wins, Raheem, CNN's going to go into full destruction mode. And GOP Senator nominee Roy Moore's controversial beliefs. So
Brilliant.
Look, folks,
Brilliant.
like we've said, if you think it's over, it's never over, right? You got to fight every day. We got another big fight coming up here on December 12th. And, of course, the Mitch McConnell and the guys are going to say, this is the Todd Aiken of 2016, and this is a bunch of hobbits that don't know what they're doing, that put up guys that are too controversial to win. So it's time to get up on the horse and to get running.
One curious thing that happened late last night, is that the president was deleting all of his tweets supporting Luther Strange. Did you see that?
Yeah, no comment. No comment. I'm not a Twitter guy. As I say, I'm not a Twitter guy.
I wasn't trying to draw comment from you, but I might draw comment from some of the callers on this. Line 1, Melanie's in Georgia. Melanie, good morning. Welcome to Breitbart News Daily. You got Steve, you got Raheem. Where are you taking us?
Oh, good morning, both of you. Thank you for taking my call. Just in a comment about Remembrance Day, I've been in England on that day. Sorry, my voice is bad. And the bells just never stopped ringing, and the ground was just covered with white crosses and poppies. It was breathtaking. I'd never seen anything like that before.
Right.
So,
Thank you very much for the call. No, it's very powerful. If you're ever in England in those days, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month is when the guns fell silent in World War I, and it's remembered every year in the United Kingdom. It's Veterans Day here. It's Remembrance Day in the United Kingdom. It's very powerful. If you ever get a chance, make sure that if you're ever there, you and your family would really be quite moved by it.
Let's go to Eric in Pennsylvania on line 5. Eric, good morning. You got Steve, you got Raheem. Where are you taking us?
Morning. I wanted to congratulate the judge for a job well done. keeping it real, and the people remembering that, hey, man, it's all about us. It's not about Washington, and they got to keep pushing. Got to keep pushing, brother. I'm telling you right now.
Eric, this is why Francis's phone call was so important moments ago about making sure that you teach your kids the right things, that you get them involved in your communities, because this is a state where that stuff still happens. This is a place where you have the 15th annual Chestang Bluegrass Festival, right, where people know their neighbors, they love their neighbors, they work with their neighbors. This is why the establishment can't win down here.
Exactly, and I think what's going to happen here, it's going to light the torch, just like it happened in 2016 and 17, where I think Trump, now that he knows, hey, we're behind you as long as you keep behind MAGA. As long as you keep that agenda, we're behind you. And I think the incumbents are...
Hang on, brother. I need you to repeat that. Take it from the top and repeat that, because I think the nation needs to hear this. I think Washington, D.C. needs to hear this. Repeat that.
Well, as Trump, we're with him as long as he keeps the MAGA agenda. And as long as he keeps that, we're behind him. If he changes it, then we're not. So I think he realizes I got to stick to MAGA and forget those people that are whispering in my ear to go the other route.
Fantastic call. Thank you very much. I think this is one of the big lessons of Alabama, right? I think the president, for whatever advice he got, however did it, he knows this, ended up on the wrong side of the football. His core, hardcore base was from Sarah Palin to Ann Coulter to Mark Levin to Dr. Michael Savage, right. Sean Hannity, the Breitbart crew, all of us. We're on Judge Moore's side, and I think there's a big lesson here. Stick to the program, right? The program got you elected in November 8th in 2016. Another resounding victory last night by sticking to the program, and that was Judge Moore. It just kind of blew it out of the water. But there's a lesson. Stick to the program. Your base will be there, and you'll grow your base.
Absolutely. Let's go to line 6. Joe is in New Jersey. Joe, good morning.
Good morning. I want to say hello to the Raymond Spruance of Breitbart. Good morning, Commander. Welcome to come aboard.
Wow, thank you. Permission granted. That may be the nicest thing anybody ever said to me. Compare me to Ray Spruance, the great admiral, for the great surface warfare admiral, I might say, in the Pacific Fleet in World War II.
Not even an aviator.
Not even an aviator.
Didn't he, my brother? That's right.
He most certainly did. He most certainly did.
That's right. Well, that's my Navy heritage and my historian heritage. And Raheem, the diva of the Prince of England, right next to you. My God, what a match. Stephen, it's good to hear your voice again, and I've been listening all about you, and you're a great brother. I mean, I'm just elated.
The only reason I'm getting good things written about me is this audience. I got to tell you, you guys are fantastic, and trust me when I say, and I mean this, the reason I could put the plan together that eventually the president was able to execute on to win was because of this radio show. You would be astounded how much wisdom comes out of this versus how much nonsense comes out of sometimes the conference rooms on Capitol Hill and the White House. So it's besides on Wall Street and in Silicon Valley, you guys are the true leaders of this country. We showed that last night. That's why last night's so important. Last night, and not a penny of donor money was raised by Judge Roy Moore. I said from the beginning to the judge, let's try to do this just off the grassroots. And it was just purely ringing doorbells, knocking on doors of the people that listen to this show and the common sense of Judge Roy Moore that had a crushing, let's talk about what this was. This was a total and complete blowout at just about every level.
There you go, Joe in New Jersey. We've got to leave it there, but thank you very much for the great call here
brother. Fantastic.
On Breitbart News Daily. We've got to go to a quick break now because we've got Dr. Sebastian Gore on the line. I want to leave some time for us to have a full conversation with him. Dr. Gore, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. You've got Stephen K. Bannon, Dr. Sebastian Gore, Raheem Kassam, Breitbart News Daily. We'll be right back after this short break.
Sirius XM Patriot presents Breitbart News Daily.
Welcome back. This is Breitbart News Daily, Sirius XM 125, the Patriot Channel. Our number is 866-95-PATRIOT, 866-957-2874. Executive Chairman Stephen K. Bannon, our host Raheem Kassam, our editor-in-chief of Breitbart London, the operation that was instrumental in Brexit. This show is instrumental in the astounding victory of Judge Roy Moore last night here in Montgomery, Alabama. We're broadcasting live in beautiful downtown.
The sun is rising.
Montgomery, sun is rising, and we're going to be taking the show out to Colorado starting this evening. We're taking it across the country. Raheem and myself all week. I'll be here riding shotgun with Raheem. Now we've got
What time zone is Colorado in?
It's in Mountain Time Zone.
So so we're going to be up at 4. So we're going to be up at 3.
3 o'clock in the morning. Get ready.
Wow,
that's right. I tell you, all night long. Take you to the West Coast, even go earlier.
Well, why don't you take me out to Hawaii at least?
That's started at midnight.